The after-action review that was undertaken by the Turnpike in the wake of Storm Jonas was, in my career, the most extensive after-action review that's been undertaken. And it really focused in three areas. One was internal resources. That got to all of the maintenance sheds, all of our maintenance sheds, making sure that we had the appropriate resources, both in staffing and equipment and materials. Also making sure we had the correct cycle times by location and by shed. We also spent a lot of time in the area of partnerships. That's not just looking at our partnerships with the Pennsylvania State Police and PEMA, but also spending time with a lot of our local resources across the system, making sure if an event happens like this again, that the partnerships are strong, making sure that the resources are known and that the roles of each are shared and collaborative before we get into those types of events. And the last really focused on the customer needs, the customer, our ability to get items to the customer. We now have stockpiles of materials, both water and energy bars, as well as MREs, meals ready to eat, blankets and snow shovels, within a 2 hours drive of any location across the system. As part of that too, we also spent an exhaustive study to make sure to take a look at all of the access points on the system to make sure that we know if, when and where an incident like this would happen in the future, we would know the exit strategy for all of the traffic in that location. And that would be either through interchange, through access gate, or through median gates.
So when it comes to preparing for a major closure event as regards to food and water, we positioned caches at our Slatington Fairs building, in the Plymouth meeting area, here at the CAB, which is the Central Administration Building for the Turnpike, the Everett warehouse, as well as some at our Western Regional office, all with the idea of being able to be within a relatively short distance of travel to move that product around and be able to deploy it to folks who are stuck on the roadway. And what we provided were, or what we've cached, is water, energy bars, and MREs. What we were looking for were things that have a long shelf life. We don't expect to use these on an annual basis, and we wanted to make sure we could purchase something that had staying power, be able to keep it on hand and rotate it in and out as necessary to make sure that it's always available should we need it.
Approximately how many people would you be able to supply?
That's a good question. I think if you looked at our entire system, we would probably be able to handle several thousand folks in a long-term closure.